The thoughts that I would like to share tonight isn't so much about fiqh, halal or haram, but it has more to do with identity. It has more to do with psychology. And that is, when we speak with each other, we think about the end of the year, we talk about New Year's resolutions, 2022 is coming to an end, 2023 is about to begin. But it's moments like this, we really have a golden opportunity to educate ourselves and our families and reintroduce a resemblance to an Islamic identity. What do I mean by that? For most of us, when we think about the date, we're saying, okay, you know what, it's December 30th, it's 2022, tomorrow's December 31st, and then the day after that is going to be the 1st of 2023. And there's nothing wrong with just thinking about the end of the year or making preparations, but it's a golden opportunity for us to think, okay, if that's the Gregorian calendar, what's the Hijri date? Which part of the year are we in according to the Hijri calendar? Is it the year 1400 something? Is it Ramadan? Is it Sha'ban? The only time we're aware of the dates of the Hijri calendar is when we talk about Eid, or when we talk about the 6 days of Shawwal, or when we talk about Ramadan, or for some, the 15th of Sha'ban, or for some, when it's the night of Isra wal Mi'raj, whenever it may have been. Some people talk about the Mawlid. There are different times when we remember the dates perhaps, but for most of the year, we're completely oblivious of the Islamic date. And I'm not here saying that we should go back and get rid of the normal Gregorian calendar, change our dates, change everything. That's maybe too much of an ask. But the little that we can do is, whenever we are with our families, with our children, and somebody says Happy New Year, or we're speaking with their own children and they come to us saying, Baba, Mama, the year's about to end, it's a good chance for us to sit down and talk about the Islamic calendar. It's a good opportunity for me to remind myself, okay, maybe it's Jumada al-Thaniya, it's 1444, it's that time of the year, it's that time of the month. As a minority in a country which is majority non-Muslim, we have to learn, on the one hand, to be accommodating and understanding, but on the other hand, we need to find opportunities for self-preservation and the preservation of identity. And it's small opportunities like this that really help us. A few years back, I remember this somewhat vividly, a cousin of mine came to my house, and we just happened to be talking. He's growing up, going to college. And he said, can I confide something in you? And I said, please, go ahead. He said, every time Christmas comes, I just can't help but feel a sense of inferiority. And I said, why is that the case? He says, just look at Christmas. Isn't it just so beautiful, the festive season, everybody seems to be so generous, everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. That's what I feel a holiday should be. And I said to him, the problem is you're confusing consumerism and our carnal desires for what is Christmas. So for instance, when people think about Christmas, they think about a holiday, they think about a religious event. What you're talking about is the fancy lights, you're talking about the sales, you're talking about the parties. That has nothing to do with any religion. That's pure consumerism, and that is your nafs speaking. That is your mind speaking. You enjoy the company of your friends during a vacation. Obviously, that has nothing to do with Christmas. That has to do with the consumeristic society that we live in. So oftentimes, when people feel this sense of, oh, I have a hole, this vacuum as a Muslim, that has nothing to do with actual habits. It has more to do with the consumeristic society that we live in. I don't want to take long. Just to conclude, the one point that I wanted to mention is, as we're about to end the year, in terms of the Gregorian calendar, and we're starting 2023, it's perfectly normal. We're using the calendar. We have our whole schedule set out according to it. It's also a good chance for me to sit back and ask myself, okay, what's the Islamic date? Okay, it's 1444. Which month is it? Okay, it's Jumada al-Thaniya. Okay, which day is it? Okay, it's the 6th or 5th, obviously, depending on where you are. Maghrib just happened, so it's the 6th. So I look at the dates and it gives me this opportunity to reintroduce myself. We look for these opportunities. On another time during Christmas, when somebody says Merry Christmas, I'm sitting with my child and I'll say, you know what? We as Muslims, we also believe in Isa alayhi salam, but there are certain things that we do not believe. We do not believe that he was a God. We believe he was a very noble person. We believe this. Whenever somebody talks about, the Jewish faith, then we say we also believed in Musa alayhi salam. So as parents, as people who are more in charge or in a position of authority, we seek out opportunities to re-educate ourselves about our own history and about our own selves so that we can engage in self-preservation and identity preservation. I'm not telling you right now that it's haram to use this calendar. I'm not saying it's fard to use the Islamic Hijri calendar, no. But if we want a sense of identity, these are some small steps that we can do towards that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be proud of our own heritage. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to re-educate ourselves about our own history, about our own practices, so that we can have confidence in our own identity. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan.